Have you or a loved one been dumped into a catatonic state after watching the 1998 Hell in a Cell match between Mankind and The Undertaker? You may be suffering from wrestling shock syndrome, a condition caused by excessive exposure to steel chairs, broken tables, and Mick Foley defying all laws of physics and safety. But now, there's hope. With just one dose of AEW Death Riders, your loved one will be snapping out of it and saying,
"Why is Pac always greased up and in a Speedo even when he's not wrestling?"
But don't just take my word for it.
Thanks to Death Riders, I'm back to giving HJs at the Royal Farms.
Thank you, Death Riders.
Never saw the match, but took Death Riders and got back to giving HJs here at the Royal Farms.
Let's talk about what led to this madness. 1997 versus 1998. Which Hell in a Cell truly broke the mold, and which one just broke a man in half?
I am 8-Bit Mike, and today we are going to be doing a review of who had the better Hell in the Cell match. Was it the 1997 Shawn Michaels and Undertaker match, or the infamous King of the Ring 1998 Mankind versus the Undertaker Hell in the Cell match? I rewatched both these matches, and man, both are amazing for very different reasons. And we're going to break this down and go category by category. So I went ahead and broke it down by 4 different categories to ultimately try and decide which match do I think is the better Hell in the Cell match. So first off, we're going to start with just the wrestling, right? And when I say wrestling, I'm talking about the flow of the match from start to finish, how the Undertaker and Shawn and the Undertaker and Mankind were able to work off of each other, and kind of how the match flowed throughout, and overall was a good wrestling match. And when I look at it from just wrestling aspect of it, you have to give it to the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match. It's very difficult to beat Shawn Michaels in a category like that, because I think Shawn just has this insane ability to put together some of the best matches you're ever going to see. He sells better than anyone else, and he knows what his role is in every single match he's in. So coming into this match, if you watch Shawn, like, there's a couple of spots that he does that I was just so impressed with, like his ability to sell, where like the Undertaker is whipping him into the cage, and as he bounces off, he's clotheslining him. Man, and Shawn just, I mean, the way he sells it, it causes me to cringe a little bit. You're just like, oh man, that, like, the way you're landing doesn't look good. Like, man, it was a different level of selling that he was doing back there. And then you would see these moments where he'd start to get his spots in, but I really appreciated how they were able to kind of keep the flow of the match going, and the back and forth was really good. And I enjoyed all of it pretty much from start to finish. I thought it was such a good match, just from a wrestling aspect and overall flow and cadence. So the Mankind Undertaker match, I thought it's unbelievable they were even able to have a match after the way this match starts. But from the spot to spot, you kind of get these stalls in the action, because obviously we don't know if Mankind is alive still. And, you know, they're trying to kind of keep things going, but then when the match does start going, if you really watch it, there's, you know, a little bit of, you know, it's insane that Mankind had any offense at all, but they start to kind of get a little offense going. Then we go to the thumbtack spot, and really from that point forward, like the match is coming to an end. Undertaker, you know, hits a tombstone, and that's it. So nowhere near as much, I think, as like the Shawn match had, which is why I have to choose the 97 Hell in the Cell as the better wrestling match, which moves us into category 2. And this one is going to be a no-brainer for the other one, but we're talking about memorable spots. And if you really look at the 98 Hell in a Cell, it is legitimately just built off spots. Like, there is no bigger spot maybe in the history of wrestling than that image of Mankind being thrown off the top of that cell. From the first day I ever saw it, I still can hear, Jim on commentary just losing it, saying he's dead, and all that stuff. And I remember thinking when he was thrown off there, like, I don't care what you land on, that is never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anyone from that high. Because even in the Shawn and Taker Hell in the Cell, they do drop Shawn from like halfway off the cage into the table, and then they do another spot too with the pile driver onto the steps, which that was a good spot, but nothing like this. And the part that made it even crazier is, you see that happen and you think, hey, this match is over. Like they're getting the stretcher out, and okay, like that makes sense. Like he's definitely hurt. They took it a little far. And then he gets up, comes back. And I mean, it's just a couple of minutes and he takes that choke slam and goes straight through and lands in the ring. And it's insane even thinking about it right now that Mankind had other matches after this match. Like, I've just never seen someone take this kind of abuse and come out of it the way he did. I mean, he was hurt, but wow, like the spots between the two matches, you have the image, that famous image of Shawn Michaels from the first match with the blood all over his face and getting thrown into the cage and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool. But I mean, when you talk about Hell in the Cell spots, it's not even close. Mankind and the Undertaker, way, way bigger spots. So from a spot standpoint, I absolutely have to give it to the Mankind and the Undertaker match. Now we're going to talk about story. And when I talk about story, it's not just the, story of why we're at the Hell in the Cell, but the story that's told within the match as well. And this one for me, I had to go with the Shawn and Undertaker match. The build up, the story there made a lot more sense. I felt a lot more hate in that one. I was a little more into the lead up story as well, like the Mankind story. There really wasn't much just, hey, they're going to fight. They're going to go at it and they're, Mankind sadistic and crazy and, the Undertaker's going to beat him down, whatever it may be. But the Shawn Michaels match actually takes it to another level because Shawn, from the minute that cage door gets locked, you see the story playing out where Shawn had depended so much on Triple H's help to, really beat down the Undertaker all the time. And now he doesn't have that. And the Undertaker just abuses Shawn in this match. And that's the story that really had to be told. Like, Shawn gets his little spots in here or there, gets some offense in here or there. But man, it's the Undertaker throwing him a beating. And then even more creative, I love the spot when I watch it happen. The way that Shawn manipulates them to get the cage door open by attacking the cameraman and creating a story for why the cage had to be opened was really cool. It's cool to like sit there and think about that spot and how, okay, so that causes Commissioner to come out, get the door open. That's how they get out, go on top of the cage. Now they're fighting on top of the cage, come back around, do the little spot where he drops. And then one of the biggest moments, Kane shows up and just tears the door off the cell and tombstones the Undertaker. And I mean, this is such an iconic moment. And it's, so you talk about not just the story of Shawn and the Undertaker, but now you also have this other piece too, with the story of this brother feud. Kane, the brother that the Undertaker thought was dead and gone, is now back, and he tombstones the Undertaker. It's great, man. And it's that music too. Like, when Kane's music hits and no one knows who it is or what's going on, oh, it's great. And the fire from the corners, like, it was all so good. And then just I remember after this match, like, God, we couldn't stop talking about it because this became the big story, right? Like, this is it. Kane is here now. Kane, who we've heard about for so many months leading into this match, and it kind of got quiet for a little while, and then boom, Kane shows up. Crazy way to end this match. I love it. So I have to, when it goes from story, when I look at the Mankind match, I think it's, I think Mick says it best, right? They had to do these crazy spots because the story just wasn't there to compare to what him and Shawn had. And I agree. I think that match had so much more of a story. Jumping into my fourth category here, we're going to talk about longevity. And what I mean by that is how memorable is the match? And in my opinion, you got to go Mankind Undertaker. When you say the words Hell in the Cell, this is the match everyone talks about. Most of the time, they actually mistake it and think that this was the first Hell in the Cell match, which it is not. The Shawn match was the first one. And a lot of people oftentimes think, okay, that one came first. Well, I always thought it was this one because every time we talk Hell in the Cell, the very first image that gets brought up is Mankind being thrown off the top of the cell. So from a longevity standpoint, how the match has stood the test of time, I would sit back and say I have shown more people the Mankind Hell in the Cell match versus the Shawn one. If you want to show someone you could show the Mankind match to someone who's never watched wrestling, and they're going to get something out of it because it's just such a crazy thing to watch. And the fact that Mankind, Mick Foley, was willing to go through that to create that moment, I mean, you just see it, man. That match is really a work of art from watching someone who's living out their dream, watching someone putting everything they have into what they do, and not like the lack of concern for what the outcome may be. He wanted to take that match to a level that we had never seen before, and he was extremely successful. So I gotta go Mankind Undertaker here in this one, and I don't think it's that close, just because of how much this match is talked about, even to this day. I don't think when you say Hell in the Cell, this is the match we're talking about. So I got them broken up now, 2 and 2. They're close just from different categories, but to be completely transparent and honest, if I'm picking a winner, if I'm going to turn on a match right now and show someone a Hell in the Cell match, it's the Mankind Undertaker Hell in the Cell match. It for sure is always going to be that match for me. Even to this day, I've been yet to see a Hell in the Cell match that I think stacks up to this one. And what I mean by that is there's lots of good ones. I do think there's a good amount of really good matches out there that, you can watch and argue about and say, hey, maybe this is better, that's better. But for me, even if I was going to show someone who's never watched wrestling, I'm going to put on that Hell in the Cell match to show them something just unbelievable, something crazy. And you're talking about a match that took place in 1998 that still to this day would be one of my top picks to show for a Hell in the Cell match. So that's my choice. If I had to pick between these two matches, I'm definitely going Mankind Undertaker. But you're not going to make me unhappy to watch the Shawn one. Another great match. Any Shawn Michaels match I'm going to probably enjoy. But appreciate it. So like and subscribe if you like the content. And if you get a moment, hit up in the comments. Let me know which match you prefer. Let me know if you think there's a match that's better than these two from a Hell in the Cell perspective. I'd love to check out some more Hell in the Cell matches, and always looking for any feedback, any advice on what I should be watching, what I should take a look at. And I'm always willing to watch anything. So like and subscribe.